Momentum doesn't disappear because you're incapable. It disappears because you keep waiting for the right internal state before you move. You tell yourself you'll start when you feel motivated, focused, confident, or clear. But those states aren't prerequisites for action. They're the result of it. And the longer you wait to feel ready, the longer you stay stuck exactly where you are, watching other men build speed while you stay at the starting line. Most people think momentum is something you build after you've already changed. In reality, momentum is what creates change. It starts ugly, slow, and unimpressive. There's no surge of confidence at the beginning, just resistance, friction, doubt. The problem is, men interpret that resistance as a sign they're not meant to move yet. So they stop, they reset, they wait. And every reset kills what little forward motion they had. This video isn't about hype, motivation, or pushing harder. It's about understanding how momentum actually works. Why speed comes after movement. Why waiting sabotages progress. And why small, controlled wins matter more than big, dramatic plans. Because once you understand how momentum compounds, you stop chasing intensity and start building traction. If you've been starting and stopping, feeling capable but stagnant, stay with me. This isn't about reinventing yourself overnight. It's about creating movement so consistent that stopping becomes harder than continuing. The fastest way to kill momentum is to wait for the feeling that's supposed to create it. Motivation feels powerful, but it's unreliable. It shows up late, leaves early, and disappears the moment things get uncomfortable. Men who wait for it confuse readiness with progress. They assume action should feel aligned, confident, and energizing from the start. It doesn't. It feels heavy, awkward, and resistant. And that resistance isn't a warning. It's the entry fee. Momentum begins with movement, not belief. When you take action without emotional permission, your nervous system recalibrates. You stop negotiating with your mood and start responding to behavior. The brain follows the body, not the other way around. That's why the first reps feel pointless and the first steps feel slow. You're not behind. You're at the part where momentum hasn't kicked in yet. Waiting for motivation also creates a dangerous loop. You delay action, feel frustrated, then use that frustration as proof you're not ready. Each delay reinforces hesitation. Each hesitation makes starting feel heavier next time. Before long, the idea of starting feels bigger than the task itself. This is how capable men stall for months. Not because they can't act, but because they've trained themselves to wait for comfort first. Men who move fast break this loop early. They don't ask how they feel. They decide what happens next. They start small, not to stay small, but to establish motion. Once motion exists, motivation follows. Confidence follows. Energy follows. But none of those lead. If you want momentum quickly, stop asking whether you're ready. Ask what the smallest action is that creates movement today, then do it without emotion. Momentum doesn't respond to intention. It responds to execution. Momentum accelerates when the brain starts expecting progress, not big breakthroughs. Proof. Small, undeniable wins that confirm movement is happening. Most men sabotage this by aiming too high too early. They set dramatic goals, miss them, and interpret that miss as failure. That resets momentum before it ever has a chance to build. Small wins work because they collapse resistance. They reduce the psychological cost of starting. When the action is manageable, the excuse disappears. And once the action is completed, the nervous system registers success. That success changes behavior. You're no longer trying to start. You've already started. That shift is everything. Stacking matters more than size. One clean rep beats a perfect plan. One focused hour beats a week of intention. Each completed action lowers the friction of the next. This is how momentum compounds, not through intensity, but through consistency that doesn't break. When wins are small enough to repeat daily, they create identity change. You stop seeing yourself as someone who struggles to begin and start seeing yourself as someone who moves. The key is refusing to reset. Miss a day, you return the next. You don't spiral. You don't renegotiate the goal. You resume motion immediately. Momentum dies when men turn interruptions into identity statements. "I fell off" becomes the excuse to stop entirely. Men who build speed treat interruptions as noise, not verdicts. If you want momentum fast, stop chasing big results and start protecting streaks. Let progress be boring, unimpressive, and consistent. Speed will come later. What matters now is stacking proof that you move forward even when it's unglamorous. That's how momentum stops being something you chase and becomes something that carries you. Momentum isn't something you find. It's something you create and protect. It starts the moment you stop negotiating with your mood and start moving without permission. Small actions, done consistently, remove doubt faster than any surge of motivation ever will. Once motion exists, stopping becomes the harder choice, and that's when momentum takes over. If this connected, don't overthink it. Pick one small action you've been avoiding and do it today. Then do it again tomorrow. And if this helped you reframe how progress actually works, like the video, comment with the first move you're committing to, subscribe to the channel, and share this with someone who keeps waiting to feel ready. Momentum rewards the man who moves, not the one who plans forever. Momentum doesn't disappear.